Yes, I'm sorry. You said that you live in...
I'm married to a Palestinian, and I live in this area. So this is my checkpoint essentially.
Yes.
And I haven't been allowed to come through it for, I think it's 4 weeks. What they've done is they've declared a closed military zone on the other side of this checkpoint, and my house is just the other side of the closed military zone. So they won't let me in at the top. They've got soldiers on a checkpoint close to the settlement at the top, and they've got the checkpoint here, and there's soldiers at by the next checkpoint. So within those three, within that area, they won't let me come. So normally for me it's a 10-minute walk from my house into town, and I have to come every day for shops and things. But for about 4 weeks or so, since the trouble started, it's been difficult. For 4 weeks, it's been impossible. They're just not allowed. So the only way I have to come through the houses here, and through the chicken sheds, and climb 2 walls and get home that way. Or I go through Badia's house, but that's a longer way because it's a way up, and I have to go higher up the hill to come back.
So if they don't let you through now, you're going to have to go around that way?
That's what I've been doing for weeks, yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
And we work for an American website. Do you have any comment on that, these conditions for Americans?
Well, I mean, it's very clear that this has got nothing to do with security. I mean, the fact that we can all walk around it means it's not about security, is it? And there's a checkpoint like this here, and there's another one at Ibrahimi, and then in between those two, everything's closed. Everything else is wide open. You can walk in across the cemetery. You can walk in across the olive groves. I can walk right in and right up to the settlement without anybody challenging me.
Mm-hmm.
But this is about collective punishment, because there's been stabbings going on, some of them in this area. So this is about collective punishment, and it's about making life very difficult for the residents in here, because what they want is a sterile zone around their settlements. So they don't want Palestinians living right next to settlements. What they'd like to do eventually, of course, what the settlers want is to take the whole area. And eventually, what they'd really like is to take the whole of Hebron. But this is their first objective, is to take Tel Rumeida.
And so, do you know residents who are, since this has started, who are thinking of leaving because of this inconvenience?
Some did leave. When there was that 1 week when there were Palestinians killed every day here, and 2 on one day. So at that point, some of the families panicked and left. But they all came back because, I mean, basically, since the Intifada, about half the families have left this area here.
When you say since the Intifada, you mean?
Well, when there was all the curfews, 2002, the second Intifada, when there was all the curfews, it was very, very difficult to live here. It was months on end when you couldn't get to work, you couldn't get to school, you couldn't do anything. So the people that are here now, are people that are determined to stay, because the issue, I mean, what we all know is that if you leave your house, it's gone and you never get back. So Palestinians learnt that lesson in 1948, and they're not going to do it again. And this is not going to stop. My wife's family is the top of the hill. We're right next to the settlers. Since 1984, when the settlement arrived, they've been constantly on our land. They're cutting down trees. They're putting caravans. They're bringing bulldozers. The latest thing, the last 2 years, they've been digging archaeology on our lands, from the Israeli government itself. And so, it's just impossible. But the family are not going to leave. They're not going to move, because we're the front line. If we left our land, then the next thing that happens is the soldiers then start on the next houses. And as I say, their long-term, the settlers, and they say this on video themselves, their long-term plan is to take the whole of Hebron. And they're prepared to work slowly, house by house, But so it's important that people just hang in there, basically, and resist.
And do you object to having your name in this video?
Dawood.
Dawood?
Dawood.
Okay. And where are you from originally?
Originally from England.
Ah, great. Well, thank you very much for explaining that to us.
You're very welcome.